And that leads to our first grab bag category. Eventually, I knew we would get there. Buy or sell? I think I know what we're doing. Buy or sell? Patrick Mahomes will have the best year of his career in 2022.
Ooh, wow. That's a high bar there. I mean, his first year playing, 50 touchdown passes, the MVP. I'm gonna sell it from a statistical standpoint that he's not gonna get 50 touchdown passes. I don't think he'll get there. All right. So from that, but I guess there's a part there I want to buy in the fact that I think he's going to be more efficient and a little bit more of a, tactical machine that way, as you were referring to, before. Because it's not going to be, let me just float back because I want to throw the 80-yard bomb to Tyreek as he's running down the middle because he can fly. I mean, you're still going to have that magic. But I think the one thing he learned last year is that and even in the Super Bowl with Tampa, it was too greedy. It was too greedy. It was too much of that. And I've heard him refer to it a few times this offseason that, I think he's got to be a little bit more of a robot. You just can't go out there and think that against some of these teams that they're going to be able to just play backyard football and make Mahomes magic happen all the time.
One thing he said recently is the lesson they learned against the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. They played to not lose.
Oh, I know.
You know what I think that means? And again, the beauty of it is nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
But what do you think?
But I just think they're going to kick the shit out of everybody. I really do.
Yeah, they're going to unleash the Kraken.
Sorry,
right?
London.
Yeah.
I just think that the season they had last year where they started slowly, they found their groove, they had the Super Bowl appearance in their hands, and they just dropped it. Right? They stopped being who they are.
Yeah.
They're never going to stop being who they are this year. You throw in that Tyreek Hill wrinkle, and I think the Chiefs are going to come out of the gate strong, and they're going to keep getting strong. We had a debate yesterday on the PFT writers text chain when Mecole Hardman got hurt. I got some people, and I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to out anyone here like Aaron Rodgers and say that, but they're not even going to make the playoffs this year. It's like,
have you been in Chris Simms' stash? Are you smoking something? Who is that that's doing that? Are you crazy? I'm with you, Mike. They're too highly motivated. They've improved their football team through the draft and the free agency. That's what's great about Kansas City. They don't sit back and just they're kind of push the chips in the middle of the table like we talk about every year. And I do think Super Bowl hangover and the fact that they could have gone after that Tampa. Well, we weren't really 100% in that Tampa Super Bowl. We got unlucky and we were really banged up going to the game. We'll still be good. I think when you add that all together, that's what, added to some complacency for the first half of the year last year for the Chiefs.
I think that,
you're starting to come around. They're going to be in the Final Four there.
I'm starting to come around on, look, they won one Super Bowl. They were in another. They should have been in this year. It's their own fault. They could have been in 2018, right? The coin flip.
Yeah.
They are going to continue to be a force and a factor, even in a very top-heavy AFC. All right, in Philadelphia, there's an open question as to what Jalen Hurts is going to do in year 3 as they put help around him. Here is receiver Zach Pascal talking about the ability of Jalen Hurts to throw the deep ball.
Since I got here, his deep ball, accuracy's been amazing. A lot of his throws been accurate. I see him getting better every day, and the work ethic he puts into that, it just trickles down to the whole team and everybody else putting in work.
Okay, scale of 1 to 10, what's your confidence level that Jalen Hurts will prove he's a franchise quarterback this season in year 3 of his career as he moves toward a possibly major payday?
This is a tough one. I'm going to go 6.5, 6.5, because he's got everything you want as a franchise quarterback. He does. The leadership. He brings something to the football team. You could tell the players love Jalen Hurts. And he's gotten better at throwing the football every year, even though, again, it's not maybe where we want it to be, but that's the last piece of the puzzle that I need to see. I know we can throw the deep ball. He's very good in that department. There's no doubt. He throws a high deep ball. He lets his guys run under it. And when you throw the ball up in the air like that, DBs, they always choke their ass off and trip and fall and stumble. And he's got a feel for that. But it's not that throw that I'm worried about. It's the 3rd and 8, and there is no deep ball, and you've talked about this, thread the needle down the middle between tight coverage, or put the ball exactly where it needs to be to let the guy run after the catch and all that. That's where I don't know yet. So that's where I'm going 6.5. And I'm kind of looked at as like a Jalen Hurts hater, but I don't know. What do people want me to do? Just lie just because he's Jalen Hurts and he's an awesome guy? I know that. That's a big question for me. And it's a question for them, too. They could say what they want, but they flirted with other quarterbacks and free agency and trades and all that. So there's a question there. Yeah, go ahead. What?
They have a wandering eye when it comes to quarterbacks. Yes. The Eagles, and I could name names here. I could throw out one name that I'm aware of that oh boy. But they have a wandering eye. And we know they were linked to Deshaun Watson. I think the only thing that kept that from ever becoming a thing is Deshaun Watson wasn't interested in Philadelphia.
Right.
Although, maybe he should have been, but he's got different issues. And we made it through an hour and 20 minutes without mentioning him. Sorry, I get fined because there really isn't anything to say about him today. However, I do have something interesting I want to tell you during the break, though, Chris. But just for you during the break.
Okay,
anyway, I'll go 7. And it really is, I'm fascinated to compare Tua and Jalen Hurts year 3 because it was Tua that supplanted Jalen Hurts in Alabama. And there is a very different vibe. Even though both teams have gone out and loaded up the cannon, we generally view Tua as being on a no excuses posture.
Yes.
And Jalen Hurts, they're doing everything they can to help him. But both teams have the wandering eye, the beam that is looking for any quarterback that would be better than the guy they have. And the Eagles have been doing it just as much, if not more, than the Dolphins have been doing it with Tua. But for some reason, we have a different vibe and a different attitude. I think just because he and A.J. Brown are friends.
He's got more of a leadership about him, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
But once they traded for A.J. Brown, it's kind of like, okay, now they're all in with Jalen Hurts. Right. I'm still not 100%. And maybe they became all in with Jalen Hurts after they explored another alternative and realized, let's just do this. A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, let's see how this works.
Right.
Maybe he is on firmer footing now. Maybe he is. It just feels like he is. Even though he and Tua are in very similar situations where their teams have gone out and improved, Tua's on the hot seat and Jalen is supposedly heating up. We'll see.
No, I agree with you there. It is odd that they're both, in a very similar situation. And I think it is. It's a little bit of the leadership qualities that Jalen Hurts brings it to where, maybe Tua's not quite that way. But the team just seems they very naturally rally around Jalen Hurts. No matter where he's been at, Oklahoma, Alabama, I think he's got special qualities like that. And with the Dolphins, as much as we know, hey, Tua's got a great smile and was a great kid and we like him and everything there, I feel like it's forced. It's Tyreek Hill's going to make it. Oh, look, speaking into existence, he is good. He is a leader. It's not quite the same, and I think you kind of hit it, spot on there.
Jalen Hurts is rattled by nothing, including the fact that the Eagles are constantly looking for an upgrade. He's not troubled by it.
Yeah.
Tua, very troubled by it.
Right.
I don't care what he says at press conferences.
Yeah, we know.
We know what's going on behind the scenes in Miami.
Right.
What we see at the press conference is not what's really happening when you get behind the curtain, and he's freaked out about the fact that it's going to be Deshaun Watson or this guy or that guy potentially taking his job. Jalen Hurts just shrugs at it and keeps going. All right, TJ Watt appearing on the Pivot podcast on the comparisons that some are trying to make between him and his brother JJ. Have a listen.
I want people to understand how great my brother truly was in his prime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that it gets lost in today's, and I know he would be upset if I said this, but I think it truly is. It's like, you go back and you look at it, you watch the film, the guy was freaking unstoppable. Like, absolutely unstoppable. And he'll never say it, but it's like, I think people need to go back and look at that and be like, the guy was doing incredible things for 4 or 5 years. And I think he can still play at a high level. I think I'm too early in my career to compare myself to him at the moment, honestly.
TJ does have one Defensive Player of the Year award. JJ has 3. I think he won 3 in 4 years, and he was constantly fighting through injury. And the way he plays, JJ Watt, it's the car. TJ's a little more to the outside, and he's rushing the passer.
Exactly.
He's not closer to the action
right.
where he's constantly getting twisted and hit and put in those bad spots. And JJ and that's the thing that we always need to respect about what these football players do. They work themselves to get to 100%. And they know inevitably they're going to fall below it. And at some point, they're going to need surgery and rehab and keep working their way back to 100, only to do it all over again. J.J. Watt has no qualms about doing that over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's right. He's still got incredible talent. It's just the health, like you mentioned. And TJ is spot on. I mean, hey, J.J. Watt is in that special Deion Sanders room. I mean, he's one of the greatest defenders in the history of football. There's no question about it. And I think your point about it's different. He didn't get to be on the edge of a defense and go, hey, I'm going to be way out here and all I got to do is rush the quarterback. He was a 3-4 defensive end. He had to play head up on a tackle or play defensive tackle altogether. Very different. And my experience, in the NFL a little bit and, in like when I was working in New England, and we had to play the Houston Texans. Well, that was the most preparation we did for one player ever that I remembered in my, short time there. Where, I mean, they were so worried about him, Belichick and Josh McDaniels. The whole game plan was organized around we got to block him, and then we also got to throw the ball to the side that he's not on because he was great at batting the ball down.
Weren't they out there with the
They
big
were doing
tennis
all that
rackets
type
in
of
practice?
stuff. Right, exactly. But they orchestrated a game plan to go, wait, we'll get him over here, and then we'll put all the receivers over here so Brady can throw it, and then we'll try to double team him and do all that. He was unstoppable at a point, to TJ Watt's point. So, JJ,
those are the game
special.
changers.
Yeah.
Those are the Hall of Famers. Those are the guys that get the literal gold jacket, where the coaching staff is doing everything it can to account for and avoid, or if you're an offensive player, neutralize that guy. Okay, so crystal ball. Who finishes with the better career? We set a pretty high bar with JJ. Does TJ catch and surpass JJ?
I don't think I'm going to say he does. This is where I think he will. I think he'll end up with more career sacks than JJ. I do. Just because, again, what we're talking about. He gets to play on the edge. He doesn't quite have to get in the scrum as much as JJ does. But, man, it's hard. As awesome as TJ Watt is, and man, I love watching him play. Gosh, JJ is he's special, like we talked about. And I can't quite put TJ in that club yet. JJ is in the Ray Lewis, Deion Sanders, Aaron Donald, Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor part of the defense, the starting 11 like Deion talked about. So that's where I just can't say TJ's going to get there quite yet, at least not in my opinion.
72 sacks in 5 seasons. My calculator on my phone tells me that's an average of 14.4 per year. That's pretty good considering he started with 7 as a rookie. And I remember when he was drafted in 2017 at the bottom of round 1. I remember when it happened. It's one of those things where it was like, I hadn't thought about it, and I wish I had, because the moment you thought TJ Watt, Pittsburgh Steelers, is like,
oh gosh, here they go.
That's as natural a fit as it could possibly be. What was everybody else thinking?
Yeah.
Especially anybody that took a defensive player in 2017 ahead of TJ Watt. So I think they both can be great, but I'll defer to TJ. JJ had an extremely special prime. He's still going strong. TJ's got a lot of work to do. So for now, I'll say that JJ will finish with the better career, all things considered, but they're both going to be in the Hall of Fame, and maybe they both end up with the jacket made of actual gold in the Deion Sanders room when it's all said and done.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.